The Mouse Who Painted Stars. Once upon a time, in a quiet town nestled beneath rolling hills and wide open skies, there lived a very small mouse named Maribel. She was not an ordinary mouse, for her fur shimmered with a silvery glow and her eyes sparkled with curiosity and wonder. Maribel's home was a cozy nook in the wall of a grand old library, where she spent her days nibbling on crumbs and her nights reading stories from books she found scattered across the polished wooden floors. But there was something special about Maribel. She dreamed in colours. While most mice dreamed of cheese or soft mossy beds, Maribel dreamed of swirling galaxies, glowing planets, and dancing stars. Every night she would peek outside her tiny window and gaze up at the vast velvet sky, longing to touch the twinkling lights far above. One brisk autumn evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and shadows stretched across the sleepy town, Maribel spotted something unusual outside her window. The moon was full and bright, and around it the stars seemed to pulse and flicker, as if inviting her to join their dance. Inspired by the beauty of the night, Maribel made a wish. Oh, how I wish I could paint the stars. The next morning, Maribel woke with a delightful idea. She would learn to paint, not just ordinary things, but the stars themselves. She hurried to her favourite corner of the library, where she found a book called The Magic of Colours. Turning each page with her tiny paws, she studied how artists mixed paints and created beautiful scenes. Maribel gathered supplies: a tiny brush made from the tip of a feather, a walnut shell for a paint palette, and colours made from crushed berries, flower petals, and a sprinkle of golden dust she found near the library's window. With everything ready, she set out onto her adventure. But how could a little mouse paint the stars? Maribel pondered as she wandered through the town. She visited the garden, where the morning dew sparkled like diamonds. She climbed atop a fence post, gazing at the clouds drifting across the sky. And as evening returned, Maribel tiptoed to the highest hill outside town, where the sky stretched endlessly above her. There, beneath the vast expanse, Maribel began her work. She dipped her brush into the rich blue of wild blueberries and swept it across a scrap of parchment. She dabbed the gold dust to make tiny, glowing dots, each one a sparkling star. She painted swirls of violet from lavender petals and streaks of silver from slivers of moonlight she caught in her paws. As Maribel painted, something magical happened. The stars above seemed to shimmer brighter, and a gentle wind carried her painted dreams toward the heavens. It was as if the sky itself was watching, eager to see Maribel's creation. Night after night, Maribel returned to her hilltop studio. Her paintings grew more intricate: spirals of galaxies, clusters of constellations, and shooting stars trailing across the parchment. Word of her artistry travelled quietly among the town's creatures. Birds fluttered by to see her work, fireflies danced around her, and even the wise old owl hooted his approval. But Maribel's greatest wish was to share her star paintings with the children of the town. She imagined their eyes lighting up with wonder, their dreams filled with cosmic adventures. One chilly evening, Maribel decided to leave her tiny paintings where the children might find them. She tiptoed into the schoolhouse, slipping a painting beneath the teacher's desk. She left another by the playground, tucking it inside the hollow of an old oak tree. She sprinkled a trail of painted stars along the path leading to the library. When the children discovered the little star paintings the next morning, excitement filled the air. "Who made these?" they wondered. "They're magical!" cried another. The teacher gathered the paintings and hung them on the classroom wall, and soon the whole town buzzed with curiosity about the mysterious artist. That night, Maribel sat atop her hill, gazing at the sky. Suddenly, something astonishing happened. The stars above began to swirl and shimmer, forming beautiful patterns that mirrored Maribel's paintings. It was as if the universe had noticed her art and decided to join in the fun. From that day forward, the children and townsfolk looked up at the night sky, discovering new shapes and stories among the stars, painted constellations that changed each evening. They began to dream bigger, imagine more, and share tales of the mouse who painted stars. Maribel's heart glowed with joy. She realized that art could bring magic to the world, connecting hearts and inspiring dreams. She kept painting, her whiskers twitching with delight, her eyes shining with hope. As the seasons changed, Maribel's paintings became treasures cherished by all. The children made their own star art, hanging it in their rooms and sharing it with their families. The town grew brighter, kinder, and more imaginative, all thanks to a little mouse with a big dream. And so, beneath the endless sky, Maribel continued her nightly journeys, painting new stories among the stars, her tiny paws creating wonders that soared across the universe. If you ever gaze up at the night sky and spot a constellation shaped like a mouse, a heart, or a swirling galaxy, you might just be seeing one of Maribel's magical creations. Remember, no dream is too small, and every wish can become a star, sparkling for all to see. And that, dear listener, is the story of the mouse who painted stars. But Maribel's adventure didn't end there. Her new confidence inspired her to explore even further. One misty morning, she ventured beyond the hill, following a path lined with wildflowers. She discovered a hidden glen, where sunlight filtered through leaves, and the air hummed with the gentle buzz of bees. In the center of the glen, Maribel met an old tortoise named Tobias, whose shell was etched with mysterious patterns. Tobias had traveled far and wide, and he loved sharing stories. When Maribel showed him her star paintings, his wise eyes sparkled with delight. "You have a gift, little one," Tobias said. "But remember, the greatest art is made with kindness and shared with the world." Maribel listened closely, and together they painted a mural in the glen, an enormous swirling galaxy filled with stars and moons and comets. Animals from the forest gathered to watch, adding their own touches. The rabbits painted tiny moons, the foxes added shooting stars, and the birds created flocks of twinkling star shapes. The mural became a magical meeting place. Each night, the animals gathered beneath the painted sky, telling stories, singing songs, and sharing dreams. The glen glowed with friendship, and everyone felt closer than ever before. Maribel learned that sharing her art brought joy not just to herself, but to others. She felt more connected to the world than she ever had before. One day, she decided to teach the children of the town how to paint their own stars. She left clues and tiny brushes near the paintings she hid, an invitation for anyone curious enough to follow. The children discovered the clues and gathered on the hill where Maribel waited, her paint palette ready. Together, they learned to mix colors from nature, paint swirling galaxies, and dream up new constellations. They created a magical gallery of star art, hanging their paintings on branches, fences, and windows. The town sparkled with creativity, and even the grown-ups joined in, remembering the joy of imagination. As Maribel watched the children paint, she realized her dream had grown bigger than she ever imagined. She had painted stars not just in the sky, but in the hearts of everyone she met. One soft spring night, as Maribel gazed at the sky, she noticed something new. The stars seemed to wink, as if saying thank you. And in that moment, she knew that every act of creativity, kindness, and sharing was like painting a new star in the universe. So if you ever feel small or wonder if your dreams matter, remember Maribel, the mouse who painted stars. Her story shows that even the tiniest hands can make the biggest difference, and every dream, no matter how small, has the power to light up the world. And as long as there are dreamers, the stars will keep shining, each one a reminder of the magic we create when we share our hearts with others. Now, close your eyes, imagine the night sky above, and let your dreams soar. Perhaps tonight, you'll paint your own stars, joining Maribel in her cosmic adventure. The end.